The term culture industry actually was coined by two Marxist critics, Marx Horkheimer and Theodor Adorno. Both were German, and the work in which they introduced it is called Dialectic of Enlightenment, which has issues with the theory of enlightenment, on which we'll elaborate later. Basically, the concept of culture industry is this: it hops on the Marxist assumption that culture is not something ethereal, extraterrestrial, or aesthetic, but is a highly material thing, though it does not appear to be so, and it actually molds people, molds people's opinion in favor of capitalism, which of course can be or have to be countered by countercultures. That is a different issue. But by and large, cultures are capitalist, prevalent cultures, overtly or covertly. And culture industry is basically the things that we see, song, dance, today television programs, YouTube programs, these all these come under the ambit of culture industry. And not only this, but also cultural forms like say painting, uh, soap operas and films. As I said, these are not at all different from motorbikes, computer sets, or domestic appliances like we have washing machines these days, micro oven, refrigerators, all these things. And there is always a brand tag with them. If you use such and such brands for your washing machine or refrigerator, you are rich or you belong to the high class. So conversely, many people not being from the rich class also try to acquire them through credit card and other means, so that they can give the impression of belonging to a still higher class. So this branding, which is rampant today, has affected the films also. In many a film, different high sounding or quality brands are shown in such a way that the audience is influenced by them, and then they think unconsciously that they must acquire those brands to climb up the ladder of social mobility. Maybe I don't know them much because I don't use, but maybe those kinds of things like Enfield bike and so many other things, Mercedes car or something next to Mercedes, these are very costly, and most people, even if they don't acquire them, Mercedes for example, most middle class people, I have heard quite a few boys mainly saying that they want to own a Mercedes, so this is their dream car. So what is happening is this, that our advertisements, films, etc., these are not only selling these products but also molding your life by making you think that if you don't own a Mercedes car or a KTM bike or an Enfield bike, you can add on according to your experience, then your life is basically worthless. And what is happening in the bargain is that we are running after these products and they are making the industrial capitalists rich and yet still richer. So we are compromising with our thought, basically. Otherwise, we would have gone for things that we actually require, and most of us have given up that thought and given up the responsibility to advertisement companies. We don't think, we look at the brands mostly, and then we go for the brands according to our pocket or even beyond our pocket. One core issue here is credit card has brought many things within the reach of middle classes which would have been only the domain of upper classes earlier, because the more customers you can get for your product, the greater your business thrives. This is the motto of the industrial capitalists. So this branding, different kinds of sunglasses or goggles, even spectacles. So What we are being made finally? Unthinking masses. That is why the effect of culture industry, through different kinds of advertisements, videos, cinemas, they sell different kinds of items actually. They promote overtly or covertly. And of course, even songs and other things are also today brands. And singers, different singers who are your favorite, we cannot name them here. In academics we can, but I don't want to. You will see them wearing a particular kind of wristwatch, particular kind of sunglass, or driving particular kind of car. So the desire is generated among the audience or among the people that they should emulate these things. So they today, it is not like Rabindranath writing a song or Shakespeare writing a poem 100 or 500 years back. These days, everything is closely tied up with industry. So, even culture, what we think to be culture, this rap, pop, or even remaking of traditional songs, all these are part of a huge industry which are in collusion with consumer goods industry, sunglasses, refrigerators, washing machines, all these cars, bikes. So these are in collusion and they walk hand in hand through audiovisual means, through mass media, to make us make us into unthinking masses, or make us great fools. This is what culture industry is. In other words, it heightens and intensifies the exploitation of capitalism through audiovisual means, advertisements, etc. Though at one point of time, Adorno had subsequently suggested that it is not that the audience is always passive or the consumer is always passive. He at times tries to think, but then options are limited, because his mind is already taken over by those huge audiovisual propaganda, and there is little that he can do or she can do to exercise his uh, you know, conscience and intelligence judiciously. These days, it is said that there are so many private insurance policies, government policies are also there. But then you are told that you have to compare through policybazaar.com. This is a general site. I'm just citing for it. There you can go and compare. But again, it is all the same, because finally, more or less, you will get the same thing, because they thrive on the idea that, our life has to be insured, so that if we die untimely or even timely, our survivors can get some money or huge amount of money, etc. And if you think logically, can life actually be insured? Never. So even the term life insurance is actually a misnomer. No matter how much crores you invest as premium in insurance, life has to end. So you see this subtle thing, life insurance, but we always have some kind of an idea at the back of mind, okay, that I have done insurance, my life is insured. And of course that part is true, by survivors will get things, but actually they play on the very term that your life is insured, but you cannot. In fact, in other words, death is ensured, that one will die, but then the survivors will get benefit. So these are some of the topics related to culture industry, and I think you can now understand further. I have not exactly reproduced what is meant by culture industry, but I have elaborated on it so that you are more and more aware of the tentacles of exploitation and oppression and cheating that is becoming more and more intense every day. So we must resist, and thinking through and thinking against is the very first step of resistance. Thank you.